Hi, it's Matt with Olympus Reptiles. Today, we're going to show you how we set up our tubs for incubation. I'll talk about a few different incubation methods, and I have one that I enjoy, that I think works better for me, and one that is just not set up for me. What we use is called a substrateless, or I call it a modified substrateless incubation method, which means that we're going to suspend our eggs above a medium that's going to be literally soaked in water. The medium, you can do it just over water, do a complete substrateless, but the medium helps to keep the water from sloshing when you check on the tub. So that's why I like to use a substrate still. Others will use a vermiculate and perlite mix, and we'll put the eggs directly into the substrate. And that's fine too, but I find that your mixture has to be more exact when you do that, and for me this has less chance for error, because I can literally just put as much water in as I want, and as long as the eggs are suspended, I don't have a problem. There's no, too much being too much. You can do too little, but there's no such thing really as too much. So, we start with just a plastic tub. Anything that'll fit in your incubator will work. And today we're using an Exoterra incubator, which we did use last year to hatch some clutches. It's one of two we use as we're building our custom-made larger ones. But the first thing I like to use is light diffuser. Now these panels are what we're going to suspend our eggs on. So what we'll do is I like to kind of double layer them if I can. And sometimes if you have taller eggs that you can't separate, you may have to live with a single layer. You can adjust that as the time comes. We don't currently have eggs, but I like to get these set up and get my incubator running a few weeks in advance. It just lets me know that everything is working. Also, that way when I do have eggs and I put them into the tub, this tub's already been in the incubator, the humidity's already correct, the temperature's already right, and I'm not throwing eggs into a cold tub on top of cold water and then trying to incubate it, having some thermal shock there. It'd probably be fine if I did, but might as well get ready early. So I like to use 2 layers of this, and I just use some zip ties to bond them together. You really don't have to zip tie them. I just find that if I make it a single piece, then it works better for me. And then when you're done with them, you can actually just put them in the dishwasher or wash them yourselves and save what you've made for the next season. We're making a new one today just to show you how we do it. But I've got some that I will be reusing. Kind of in the corners is where I like to zip tie. Just kind of makes it all one nice piece. And get it in the same holes there. When you're finished, this something looks kind of like this. If you want, you can take and you can clip off the extra ends just with whatever you got laying around, pocket knife, scissors. I'm actually using the same scissors I cut eggs with right now. This isn't a necessary step, it just kind of cleans everything up. So, when you're done, you got something that looks like that, and it should fit in your egg tub sort of like that. So, our eggs will end up on top of this, and that will prevent them from touching the water. I like to use perlite. This is Miracle Grow's perlite. But basically, it's a plant food. It's cheap. Get it in any like Home Depot or anything else, and it'll be our medium. It's made to hold water, so it looks really good. Now it's going to be extremely dry when you take out the bag, so you will need to wet it. Because the goal in the incubation is to keep the humidity at as close to about 100% as you can. You really want to be between about 95 and 100% humidity inside your tub. So then we'll pour the water in. As you can see, this kind of becomes a slurry. This is kind of the gross part. Mix it around, try to get it all absorbed. You're going to get some of that crap on your hands. It's going to stick a little bit. Also going to be cold if you don't like that. If you're not really happy with your mix, you could add more water. You could add more perlite. Whatever you think you need. If you do the other method, will take you to be able to squeeze it into a snowball and no water can run out, and you can see we got water running out. So this, if you put your eggs directly in this medium, they would drown and die. This would not be a viable base for them. But by putting the egg crate in there, what you can see happens now is with that in there, as much as we work it down or anything, the eggs are going to be suspended on top. And they're not going to touch water, which is what you really got to worry about, is water absorbing into the eggs. We're not going to have that problem with this setup. So when we put our eggs in, they're going to rest on top of this crate, and they'll be perfect in there for 58 to 60 days, however long it takes them to hatch. So you'll basically put them in there, leave them be, check on them. If you need to add more humidity, add more humidity. You can put more water directly in the perlite. The only thing you have to worry about is this sinking in, all the way down and water getting in to your eggs. As long as your eggs never touch water, you should be fine. We'll then put a lid on it. Some folks use press and seal to hold the humidity in better. We're going to check it occasionally, get an air exchange. With all that done, what we'll do, we'll give our camera guy a little bit of room here with our fancy schmancy table. We're just going to pop it into our Exoterra here, which we've already got set to 90. We'll set that right in there. Another thing I like to do with these Exoterras is they've got a water tray in the bottom here. I think it's kind of gross. I like to put a little bit of water directly in that water tray. What this will do is it will raise the humidity in that whole incubator as well. The humidity in the tub is what matters. But if the humidity in your incubator is high, the humidity in your tub will be high as well. I also like to put a thermometer inside my incubator. This also has a hygrometer on it. And then eventually, when we have eggs, we'll have one in the tub that will be able to monitor the exact tub at the same time. So close this little guy up. Make sure he's sealed. We just leave him be. One cool thing about these Exoterras, and no, we're not sponsored by Exoterra, and about 4 people make this exact same incubator branded different, is they do have a light inside. It's kind of neat, it's easy to check. You can change the temperature with the touch of a button and dial it right in. You can also set it to cool down stuff, so you could use it for a beer fridge in the off season if you really wanted to. What I have found is that their settings are pretty accurate. I think last year we were running about a degree higher to keep our tub temp where we wanted, and that's why you want a thermometer in your tub. Because your incubator settings, it doesn't matter what the temperature is in your incubator. It matters what the temperature is in your tubs where the eggs are. So that's where you really want to have that being checked when the time comes. So that's how we set up an incubation tub. We'll make a follow-up to this video here when we get our first set of eggs this year, where we'll pull the eggs from the mother and put them in the incubation tub we've made. And you can see how we do all that as well when the time comes. But she's still holding on to them for probably yet 2 to 3 more weeks. Like I say, I like to be a little early, just make sure everything's running the way I want it. So that way if something doesn't work, incubator dies on me, I can get that fixed before we have eggs and nothing to do with them. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Kurt, do you have any questions for us?
Nope, no questions today.
No questions today. And again, this isn't the only incubation method. You can use what works best for you. I can tell you this works best for me. It seems like there's one less thing to go wrong. There's a little bit more prep in this version, but I'd rather spend a little more time prepping and have my eggs go right than the other way around. Thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, and come along and join us in the hobby. Thanks a ton.